comply with numerous verbal commands to drop the knife and then aggressively approach the troopers. Both troopers fired from their issued duty weapons, striking the subject several times. Immediate first aid was provided by the troopers after the subject no longer posed a threat to them. The Helderberg Rescue Squad continued to render medical assistance upon arrival at the scene. The combined life-saving efforts were unsuccessful, and the subject succumbed to his injuries. The investigation into this incident is continuing by the State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation and Internal Affairs Bureau, in conjunction with the Albany County District Attorney's Office. The Albany County Sheriff's Department also responded and assisted at the scene, though they were not directly involved in the shooting. So at this time, we'll open it up to your questions.
Major, you said the Carl was suicidal or making suicidal statements.
That's my understanding.
So do you believe this could be a suicide by police situation?
Very likely.
Was he living by himself, Major?
That is my understanding, yes, he was.
Major, was there, maybe I'm questioning this, I guess wrongly, but could there be any other force other than deadly force, like maybe a taser could be used?
It's my understanding that they had tasers, but these situations are so fluid. If it was a bright sunny day and the subject had nothing more than a bathing suit on with the skin, the flesh exposed, then great. Most of the time the taser would work under those circumstances, though not all. But that's not always the case. It was pitch black, it was a moonless, cloudy night, and there was no artificial lighting. This is the Albany Hill Towns. So given the circumstances, it probably would not have been wise to give the subject an opportunity as he was approaching him with a knife to try out the taser. You'll probably recall fairly recently we had a similar incident in the Capital District in the town of Rotterdam. And I'm not second guessing the troopers, I'm not second guessing the Rotterdam police, but in that case, in an abundance of caution, they afforded the subject ample opportunity to surrender and drop his knife. That didn't work out so well, either for the officers who were stabbed and could have been hurt a lot more seriously than they were, nor for the subject in that instance. So in this particular incident, I would say the troopers did the right thing by going right to the firearm.
Major, can you paint the picture for us real quick? He was, the call came in as someone who was threatening to kill anybody who came in front of him?
I didn't listen to the exact recording. I didn't review the transcript, but my understanding is that this subject himself called Albany County 911 and expressed suicidal thoughts, homicidal statements, including to any responding law enforcement.
How many times was he shot?
We believe 3 times.
And how close were officers to the
I can't give you an exact on that, but a ballpark figure, I'm going to say 10 feet on one side, maybe 10 to 15 feet on the other.
Major, was this man believed to have been under the influence of alcohol or drugs at the time of the shooting?
Can't say. I don't know.
Are the 2 troopers okay?
Yes, they are.
Did the man have a known history of depression or any question of his mental illness?
I can say that he was known to Capital District law enforcement, and it's my understanding that the Albany County Sheriff's Department had responded to that residence about an hour earlier. I'm not sure exactly what the nature of that call was at the time, but troopers have also had other encounters with the subject.
What types of encounters?
Yeah, we're getting away from this incident, but not too far. I mean, the guy had, my understanding, at least in one incident, he had threatened trespassers on his property.
Are troopers going to go back to the scene to continue the investigation?
At this point, our forensics unit is clear from the scene. Maybe do some neighborhood interviews, but other than that, we're clear from there. All the evidence has been secured.
Was there anybody else in the house?
No.
How far did this take place from the house?
Probably 50 yards. He walked towards the troopers when he saw their car coming down the road.
Was there anything to say to the troopers who handled this situation?
I'm sorry, repeat that, please.
Do you have anything to say to the troopers, about the troopers who handled this situation, the way they handled it?
Do I have anything to say to them?
Yeah.
I did say my piece to them.
Did it happen on his property, or was it on the road, or was it?
It was on the road.
Do you have a record at all?
I believe he was arrested back in 2004 in Pennsylvania for fairly minor charges.
You said he was shot 3 times. Where were those wounds?
I'm not sure at this time. The autopsy was just completed. The pathologist determined the cause of death as suicide by police.
Did he charge the officers?
Yes, he did.
How big were the knives he was bringing?
They were folding knives, the blades were 3 to 4 inches.
Were any other weapons found on his person after he...
No.
What goes through your mind after a situation like this, Major? I mean, how do you feel?
It comes with the territory. You know, these issues with the mental health law arrest, I mean, you'll pick up on them, and it's a big story. I mean, when somebody dies, it's always bad. But we deal with these issues in the Capital District hundreds of times a week, and things don't always go as planned in law enforcement, and people don't always respond the way they should respond. And it's just the numbers. Sometimes this is going to happen despite our best efforts. All police officers in New York are trained in how to deal with people with mental health issues. We receive in-service training, but things don't go as planned always. And in this particular case, from everything I know up until now, the troopers were justified to shoot the subject.
And just so I'm clear, did you say that the coroner said this is a suicide by cop?
Suicide by police. Yes.
Okay.
Was he a longtime resident of the area, or had he only been there, do we know?
We believe he's been there quite a long time. I don't know exactly how long. We had calls back, I believe, in 2006.
When the police, when your troopers arrived there, when they were on their way, were they informed of, obviously they knew about the call that prompted their response, but did they know the past arrests or the past incidences with him?
I don't know.
I don't believe
I'd have
they
to
would.
speculate.
What kind of work did he do?
I do not know.
At this point, the troopers, what happens with them?
Well, they were working a week of midnight shifts. I gave them the rest of the week off on administrative leave so that they can work with our employee assistance program and have some time with family. But they're okay.
And the autopsy was by the Albany County coroner?
Yes, Dr. Sikorica.
Anything else?
Could you spell your names and give your titles again?
Captain Robert Patnog, P as in Paul, A-T, N as in Nora, A-U-D as in David, E.
Major William Keeler, K-E-E-L-E-R.
Major, are you releasing a picture of the suspect?
I don't know that we have.
I don't know that we have.
So I'm not planning on it now. If you're requested through the PIO, maybe